All dressed up with nowhere to go. Now you know a player that invested all this money into all these fly threads, you know what I'm saying? A little something for the honeys. I can't even wear this out nowhere. But you know I'm about to wear it to the club, you know what I'm saying? Might pull me a little something, something. A little pop of the collar, you did. Well, today we're going to be talking all about how your style will potentially change the spaces you are in your teens, 20s, and 30s. What's up, all you good fella fly guys? You know who it is, the cat in the hat, your resident fly guy, your chief architect, Michelangelo of StyleArchitects.com, here to help you redesign your frame of mind when it comes to the styling thing, and it's Fly Guy Friday. You know I'm not really a dancer, I like to just hit my little grooves, but that's neither here nor there. Yo, I hope that you've been showing up this week in style, but if you haven't, if you've been having some issues with your image, or if you've been having some confusion when it comes to your closet, well, that's exactly why I'm here, to ensure that you are showing up in style and leaving a lasting impression with your image. Now today on Fly Guy Fridays, we're going to talk about how your style can actually elevate or change your spaces. So, if this is your first time here, welcome. Yo, this is a great time for you to be on this video because you'll see how your style can actually influence your life. So if you find this information beneficial, please consider subscribing. I would love to be a part of your stylistic journey. Now, if you have already subscribed, then you know there's only one other thing to do, and that is hit that notification bell, and that way you will be notified anytime new content comes out. So how did this conversation arise? Well, what often happens is when I'm stepping out, a lot of people will be like, Michael, I really love the way that you dress, and honestly I would like to dress up too, but I don't really feel like there is a space that I can wear it in. And they're not really wrong, even though you could throw on a suit in casual environments where everybody just has, you know, their dress shirt and their jeans on. A lot of guys are not necessarily the most comfortable in that space because they are going to draw a lot of attention to themselves and they don't really feel like it's appropriate. And it's unfortunate that even though suits are still cool, they're still slick, a lot of guys are still uncomfortable within that space, despite the fact that we used to be up in dinner jackets when we were going out to dinner, and now, you know, the common practice is for you to be in t-shirts and jeans. But fret no more, fellas. There is some good news here. You have the ability to elevate your ensemble or to get more wear out of those clothes that you've invested in simply by changing your space. Now, what are some of the challenges that you're going to run into? Well, if you're a teenager, one of the first things that you're going to run into is access. You're going to be restricted by time, you're going to be restricted by the locations that you can actually attend, and you're going to be restricted by just the demands of the day. So if you're a teenager and let's say you're into chess, dancing, and gardening, then I know that you're going to be restricted on the different events that you can experience. But the good news is that more than any other time before, you can find like-minded people by you globally. So even though you may not be able to go to the space right now, you can really start cultivating relationships with people locally and with people abroad simply by reaching out to them on Instagram, checking out those hashtags, and figuring out what other people are doing within those same interests. And then you can start looking in your city to see where different things are happening. So in this space, let's say you want to go to a chess tournament, you want to go learn some dance moves, and you want to go to a farmer's market where you can simply hop on your Instagram page or go Google what is going on in your city, and you can go to a local chess tournament. You may not even play, you just may want to watch and learn some different strategies. Then after that, you may go to a dance class where you learn the salsa, the bachata, the merengue, you know, or the tango, any one of these different types of dances, and nobody really has to know about it. Or you can go to a farmer's market and learn about new different types of foods that you can begin implementing into your garden. Well, what happens in these different types of spaces? Well, number one, if you're going to any of these different types of places and you have an awareness of yourself, you're probably going to be one of the best dressed, if not the best dressed dude there. And it won't be so outlandish or extra because you haven't invested in anything super formal. You're just going to look well put together, and that will create an attraction to to you. People are going to walk up to you and say, wow, that's a really nice ensemble. That's a really nice outfit. So if you're an introverted guy, you don't have to worry about talking to anybody. They'll just introduce themselves. You can introduce yourself, and it's all good. You can continue the conversation. If you're more of an extroverted type of person, this gives you the opportunity to actually create some interest and intrigue simply by your image. And as you begin to Snapchat, because you're going to get more confident, you're going to feel more comfortable, and you're on your social media talking about this great time that you just had, true, you may get clowned by your friends in the beginning, but I guarantee you shortly thereafter, they're going to be like, yo, can we roll? I want to come. They're going to see the type of young ladies that are there. They're going to see the type of environment that you're creating for yourself and the community that you're ultimately cultivating in those spaces. And the people who are not afraid to be individuals often will find themselves in leadership roles sooner than later. So after you have gotten this comfortable awareness of yourself and you move into your 20s, well, now you start having more access to different elements of those interests. So now you can leave the state, you can stay out later, and you can begin to experience some new experiences that you weren't having before. So if you're into chess, those people that you cultivated relationships with a state over or on the East Coast, you can now travel to and see, and you probably can even stay with them, you never know. Or you can enter yourself into a chess tournament and you've been watching these people, whether it's on a live feed or going to your local chess tournaments, and you feel comfortable or confident enough to compete in those spaces, and then those open different types of doors for those interests. If you are into the salsa and merengue, now you can stay at the club after the dance lessons are over, and you may be the talk of the town because you're dressed to impress and you got the moves to back them up. Or if you are the guy who is into the farmer's market, well, now you can start going to different places in different cities, to different festivals, to experience how these different components come together to create something tasteful. Or you can just explore different types of places that will give you access to different types of seeds or different types of ways to cultivate your own garden. And what does that do for you? Well, that creates some storyline for when you are socializing. So if you meet a young lady or you are networking and you've been to a new city or you traveled someplace, then this gives you the opportunity for you to connect with them. Maybe they're from there, or maybe they've traveled there too, and they can ask you about the places that you've been. And if they haven't traveled, well, then you've created something that people are going to talk about, like, man, that sounds like an amazing place. Tell me more. And you cultivate relationships in that space as well. Now, fellas, in your 20s, if you have not gotten your passport, get your passport. You deserve to see some world, and having your passport will immediately inspire you to start traveling someplace. I don't care if it's to the Dominican Republic or to Hawaii. Hawaii's not international, but still, you get my gist. You'll go over some water in that space. But you will be able to have access to those different types of things. Maybe you come across a great deal, or your friends want to travel to Cancun or Cozumel or go to Europe, and you'll be able to do those things. So please make sure that you get your passport. Now, as you move into your 30s, now you're starting to look for these signature spaces for yourself, because you need a place where you can decompress. You need a place where you can really cultivate some rapport with those people around you. And lastly, you want a place where you will always be able to find a smile. Now, just consider this. You're still the guy who enjoys chess. You're probably a grandmaster at this point. You've really, moved to an expert level. And even though a lot of people aren't, that interested in chess, you still have a place where you can go and get a good game, have a great conversation, and just meet with your homies to discuss different strategies or world news or anything else that may be going on in your life. And let's say after you played a few games of chess, you and your friend get hungry, and now you want to go get something to eat. Well, you have your favorite restaurant where the waitress knows who you are, where the bartender knows who you are. He knows what your favorite drink is, and the waitress knows what your favorite food is, or she can put you on to something new because she knows what you like. Well, in these two different types of spaces, this is going to be beneficial to you when you're dating, as well as when you have to handle any business. The reason being is if your bartender knows who you are, that creates a certain level of interest and impressiveness when you have created that different type of dialogue. And I can almost guarantee you, if the bar is a little crowded or a little busy, you're going to get first dibs for you and your date to get drinks. Now, if you have to network and you have a favorite restaurant, then you already know the quality of service that's going to be there, and you know what types of food are going to be served there. So just a quick tip when it comes to finding those signature spaces: you should always have a low tier, just like your everyday mom and pop type of space that you can go to, and then you should always have a higher tier for when you need to impress somebody or you need to elevate your different types of style. Now, lastly, when it comes to the gardening aspect of your interest, sometimes you just need to go to a place where you have some smiles. And if you frequented the farmers market in your local area for a time, then you know that Miss Johnson's going to have your favorite rhubarb pie. You can go get some authentic ginger ale from Lisa at the end of the farmers market. So you already have these different types of spaces that will create a smile for you. And when you have those different types of places, it just does wonders for you when you are having a down day, or you just want to be around some friends, because this is where you're going to really cultivate relationships. So all these different types of spaces will transition how you move. Now, because those people accept you for who you are and you've cultivated those different types of relationships, you will no longer have to feel uncomfortable about being quote-unquote overdressed in these different types of situations. Actually, what that signature style will do will create a storyline for the characters around you. All those people will say some of the things that they say to me and my friends. Michael and his crew, those are always well-dressed guys, and we know that they are going to elevate the space as soon as they step into it. So try that on, see how it fits you, and leave me some comments in the comment box about some of your signature spaces, some of the places that you found interested in your city. You never know, might find myself there. So definitely would love to know about that, and I'm sure some of the other guys in the community would love to explore those places as well. Please don't forget that we are here Monday through Saturday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, here to redesign your frame of mind when it comes to the styling thing. And lastly, please don't ever forget that dress is nothing more than the expression of a man's state of mind, so you should always dress to express. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.